I was in the land of cotton wood, and there I forgot to look away, look away, look away.
When's we gonna be free?
That is a good question, my man. How about nowish?
All right, y'all. Thank you for tuning in to Dixieland of the Proletariat, where we're going to talk about Southern working class history and current events through a leftist perspective. Make sure to like us on social media at Dixieland of the Proletariat or Dixie Prol. And if you want to give your wages to a bunch of rednecks, then subscribe to our Patreon page at patreon.com/DixieProl. We got a lot of cool stuff to give you, including CDs, stickers, and artwork, and a cookbook that we said last time are coming soon. This podcast is brought to you by Newport 100s in a Box, Camera Silver's Black Coffee, Protest and Trapping, and of course, White Genocide. Shout out to our new Patreon subscribers, JH, Catherine, and Simon. Check out our Spotify playlist. We have a bunch of songs that we think represent what we're trying to do. Check that out on Spotify. It's under the same name, Dixieland of the Proletariat. And as hopefully you all know, our monthly Patreon surplus goes to groups that are run by and or help marginalized people directly. As always, I'm Nelson, joined tonight by Senior Telecommunications Director Tommy. Our guests tonight are super activist Travis Jackson, and hopefully Denzy will show up. He's a local hip-hop artist and OG. Travis, if you remember him, he was from our Iraq War episode. And how are we all doing tonight, y'all?
I was just breezing. How you been holding up?
I'm good, homie. How you been? I'm good. I'm just
Golden.
watching and TV and chilling, doing nothing really.
Hey, what you watching? Don't be watching that bullshit. Cut on some Martin or something. You know what I'm saying? News full of shit. You know what I'm saying?
This is off to a great start.
Right.
All right, y'all. So this is the special episode. I got y'all here today. We're not no Tyler or Brother William. Tommy brought up a good point last episode about quote unquote staying my black ass at home when it came to the stay-at-home order, because obviously the question is, how do you balance a stay-at-home order with a racist police state, and how do you try to survive when the virus is overwhelmingly affecting the black community at a higher rate than any other community? So I got y'all here today because we want to talk about that. So I guess we're going to start off with Travis. If you want to kick it off, and just what have you been up to? Your thoughts and what you got going.
Well, first of all, it is an honor to be amongst God's greatest gifts. Kings of the Central Alabama. You know what I'm saying. I have been doing pretty good thus far. I can't complain, or I refuse to complain. Due to being a black man or a man of color in the Deep South, I can tell you how this coronavirus has affected the black community at an all-time high. It's sad to say this, but I do believe that racism does tie into coronavirus, because you're talking about trying to access healthcare as a black man, and that includes seeking therapy, whether if it's physical or mental health therapy. And the problem is, when you are in a red as clay state as Alabama backwards, you know what I'm saying, then that can lead to other issues such as not only racism, but that can lead to police brutality, whether if it ties into wrongful convictions or false arrests. I know I personally, as you know, I have been falsely arrested for standing up for the social justice, which pertains to reproductive rights or justice. So because of that, I felt a lot of flashbacks, if you don't mind me saying that, pertaining to the coronavirus. I think it's BS that it's affecting people of color more, but honestly, that is the battle that we have at hand right now. So it's not coronavirus versus just America. I say it's the coronavirus versus Black America, if you want to be specific.
Yeah.
And so my way of combating that is reaching out. I'm still going to therapy, but I have to do it over the telephone, just because my social worker doesn't want to take that risk of me getting affected or himself getting affected.
Yeah.
So I'm reaching out to my social worker. I'm reaching out to my friends, like you all, and I'm reaching out to other friends as well too. I've been heavily involved with another organization, which is, as you know, Montgomery Pride United. We too have Zoom every Thursday now for the last 2 weeks, just to check on the mental health, because I really do think that this is not only affecting physical health towards African Americans or people of color, but I think it's affecting mental health as well too, especially when we have always been on the chopping block for being denied healthcare access. I just think that this coronavirus will lead to more stereotypes towards people of color. And we just got to continue to get woke and stay woke by studying to show ourselves approved, or if not, we will sink.
Dig it. All right, I'm gonna pass it off to Denzy. What are your thoughts going into this? Like, how are you handling it? What do you think? What are you seeing?
Well, first of all, I'm handling it by staying my black ass at home. You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly what Thomas said. Yeah.
And second of all, it's like, it can be like law enforcement or whatnot can target the Black community during this, but I don't think it started with this. With us being targeted anyway, it gives us a rebellious nature. You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
So with us being targeted anyway, and we already got that rebellious nature, how you gonna tell me what more I can't do? Oh, you gonna tell me I can't do this? You been telling me I can't do this. So fuck y'all, I'm gonna do it anyway still. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So it's rough. Like, it's rough being a Black male regardless. Because not only do you have to worry about police even before this coronavirus, you got to worry about discrimination from your higher ups and your other races. But then you also got to worry about other Black men that's out to kill you. We fighting a three-way battle. Not to mention, Black women done got to a point to where they don't want to respect the Black man no more. But it ain't, well, I ain't gonna say it ain't all their fault. But at the same time, hey, when Black men not respecting the Black woman, and then they doing things to push the Black man out of the household, then it's gonna be rough regardless. It ain't just started with the coronavirus. This is something we've been fighting for years.
I feel you. Tom, I'll pass it to you. For some reason, I can't unmute your mic, so can you unmute it?
Yeah, I got it. We're good.
You somehow were overriding the system. What do you think, Tom?
Yeah, well, first I want to say something about Black people are very susceptible to the coronavirus because heart disease and diabetes and high cholesterol, amongst other things, are very prevalent in the Black community, and that does compromise your immune system. And so, we do have a better chance of getting it, a higher chance of getting it, and a higher chance of dying from it because our immune systems are compromised because of those things: diabetes, heart disease, and things like that. That being said, this stay-at-home order, anytime, I believe, this is just my own personal opinion, and stemming from how I grew up and how I was brought up and the things that I've seen. Anytime a police officer can pull you over just to pull you over, it's going to affect the Black community more than any other community. And me myself, I've been pulled over since the stay-at-home order twice. Like I was pulled over in my driveway. Um, luckily I have my special papers that gets me out of things, but it's still. And another thing I've noticed, I was going to my sister's house who lives in a very Black community, and there were more cop cars there than there were on the streets. Like they're just patrolling in and out. I can't say that's happening for every neighborhood, but that particular neighborhood, I definitely saw more police activity than I've seen in my own neighborhood. Um, just the best thing to do is just stay at home. Don't give a cop an excuse, to mess with your rights. And it's unfortunate that we live in a time like that, and that we have to do things like that, and that we have to be aware of that. So not only do we have the coronavirus, but we also have to make sure that we aren't out past a certain time so we don't get pulled over, just to avoid police harassment, just to live our lives.
Yeah.
Can I say something?
Today, I think it was in Philly. It was in a bigger city with an actual public transit system. The cops just like dragged this dude off a bus that didn't have a face mask. I don't think he was arrested, but it took like about 3 or 4 of them just to drag this guy off the bus because he didn't have a face mask. And obviously the guy, when they pulled him out, I think he was Black. He was definitely a person of color. But obviously, from what Tommy just said, is like you already have the over-policing of Black and brown communities. And now the police the coronavirus is exacerbating that, because you have, obviously, now you have more, like Tommy just said, more police presence in Black and brown neighborhoods to really enforce those stay-at-home orders and the curfews, it seems. It just seems like now that the state, the capitalist racist state, has more authority over people, and people want to say, oh, it affects everyone equally, but as you all just brought up, it doesn't. Like I could go out after curfew, and if I get pulled over, they'll be like, oh, what are you doing out here, son? I'll be like, oh, I'm sorry, officer, I was blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, head home. And then unfortunately, if y'all did that, there's a good likelihood that y'all get shot because they're just racist assholes. But Travis, I want to ask you, you're in the preferred community, right?
Or as I like to say, all white community.
Do you feel that it's worse there than it is in the city of Montgomery? Do you feel like there's more tension in Prattville than there is Montgomery right now, or do you feel anything different, or is it still the same?
I would just like to say that it's kind of like a coin toss right now, because like I said, like Tommy was talking about the stay-at-home curfew. I have been doing that, but I've been like spreading my wings a little bit more. So what I have noticed is that the cops present is pretty equal. But I will say, due to Montgomery having a high Black population, there's a reason why that the cop population has definitely increased. Now, I will say this, being up here, I've noticed that the stores are taking it a little bit more serious. For example, like this past Saturday, I went to Walmart and they will only allow 1,000 people inside the store. And if the 1,000 person went in the store, then you had to stay out until a certain number, until that number went from 1,000 to like a certain number, as far as the decrease. So to answer your question, I think as far as the cops' presence goes, I think it's equal, but I think it's more focused. Honestly, I'm going to take that back. I think it's more focused in both cities right now. Sad to say. And because like you were saying, I can go out if I want to, but there's a high chance that I will get shot and I will have a baton hit upside my head and I'll be arrested and thrown in jail. As in a white person having that complexion of protection or white skin, if they go out, there's a high chance that they will not get either pulled over or they'll get let off. So to answer your question, I think it's equal on both ends.
Nelson, you're muted.
Oh, I am muted. Sorry. I was telling you if you can unmute your mic because for some reason I have no control over you. Denzy and Tommy, this one I guess is for both of y'all because since Travis is in the preferred community, we're already in food deserts in the South a lot of times, especially the west side of Montgomery, the predominantly black side of town. When it comes to getting like any type of fresh produce, any type of food. And as we know that a lot of delivery services don't like to deliver to the west side of town. So like how's it been trying to get food, I guess? Like what stay-at-home orders, you can't leave, but then like delivery services don't want to do anything. So Denzy, I'll start with you. Like how has it been trying to get up with anyone to bring you anything to eat, I guess?
Honestly, if you want to know the truth, I ain't nothing changed where I stay at. The police presence still the same. I live in the jungle, man. The police presence still the same. Like the delivery drivers still come, but only to a certain time period. After a certain time period, they ain't coming with the fear of being robbed. You see what I'm saying? So getting food and all that, it ain't changed that much. Now the capacity limits at stores got out of hand for a little while. But then now all that's back to normal because the panic pushers done already got everything they wanted. So now they in the house, which is good because with me not being a panic pusher, I just go to the store when I want to. You know what I'm saying? I do abide by the little tape they have on the ground saying 6 feet here, 6 feet there. I'm fine with that. Just let me get my new post. Let me get me a pack of pork chops and a couple steaks to grill, and I'm good. I'm going to take my ass back to the house. You know what I'm saying? But with the police presence, that ain't changed at all. It ain't got no smaller. It ain't got no bigger. They still riding around here. They still want to know what's going on. They still shooting. They still looting. I think I've seen more people out now since the stay-at-home order than I have before. You know what I'm saying? I ain't know so many people roll bikes around this motherfucker. Like they all over. You know what I'm saying? So the only thing that done changed for me is that I'm just in the house more. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to take the risk of getting infected. You know what I'm saying? Now I will go out to get what I need. But other than that, I'm just at the crib. Ain't nothing around here changed.
All right. Real quick, y'all, for some reason, Zoom is telling me that the time limit's running out, but I think they got rid of that because of the virus. But if we do get cut off, then I'll send y'all another link and we can start back up again and we'll just slice these two together. Tommy, what about you? Because I know you're saying that you use a lot of delivery services. Anything really changed for you, or is that?
No, I live pretty much in Midtown. So I'm real close to a Walmart. I'm gonna be real honest with you. I don't deal with people, so I always ordered my groceries from Walmart. So nothing's really changed for me. I hate going to Walmart. I hate dealing with that. I can't stand it. Call me a lazy bastard if you want, but I get my shit delivered on my doorstep. That's how I play this game. But yeah, my mom does live on the west side, and that there's one grocery store there, the Winn-Dixie, and for a time there was literally nothing in there, so I was taking her food because I live next to the closest Walmart that she lives to, but. And that's a huge problem is that Walmart's taken over. You don't realize how important Walmart is until you realize that there is no other place to get food from but Walmart, and which is a stark contrast to the way it was when we were growing up about 20 years ago, when you had little independent stores, little small like bread and milk stores that you could go to. We had back in where my mom lives, there were at least 4 grocery stores within a 5-mile range, and now there's just a Winn-Dixie and a Walmart. And that's terrible. It's, it's, terrible. Walmart's taken. All right. Real quick, y'all. For some reason, Zoom is telling me that the time limit's running out, but I think they got rid of that because of the virus. But if we do get cut off, then I'll send y'all another link and we can start back up again and we'll just slice these two together. Tommy, what about you? Because I know you're saying that you use a lot of delivery services. Anything really changed for you, or is that?
No,
Sam Walton runs the world.
Sam Walton does run the world. Travis, I'm gonna go back to you. Trying to think of other things. Y'all, if y'all have any other topics pertaining to this, obviously y'all definitely know a lot more than I do. But Travis, we had Mia on talking about reproductive justice. Talk more about Montgomery Pride United. Like how's Montgomery Pride United doing? How is that section of the city coming together and trying to stick together during all this when it comes to stay-at-home order and curfews? So can you elaborate more on Montgomery Pride United and what y'all are doing during this?
Yeah, sure. For those of you who don't know, Montgomery Pride United is a 501c3 program that is very supportive for LGBTQ plus rights. What we have done is we have provided, we still are providing clothing and we still are providing food. The only difference now is when you enter our business or our building, you cannot walk past the table that is at the front door right now because two of the executive directors are immunocompromised, so they don't want to get affected easily by any virus or any sickness. So basically what they do is they still provide food, they still provide resources as far as shelter goes. We are still working closely with different churches in downtown Montgomery that pertain to shelter and food and clothing. Just recently, there's a church right now downtown. I think it's called Providence, if I'm not mistaken. They are providing free showers towards the homeless people. So we've been working closely with them. As far as the curfews and stuff like that goes, everybody in the group, our organization, is abiding by them. And one way that we are handling the stay-at-home order is every Thursday we have a Zoom that we use as well to check on the morale of our group members, because like I said earlier, it's not a physical health issue. This has become an issue that has affected many people's mental health. So we just try to do our best to just be unified and not divided. We try to do our very best by making sure that the morale for LGBTQ plus rights are being still upheld or upheld during this national or global crisis.
Gotcha. So there's a lot of talk in the news about how I think we mentioned this before with your episode, the VA and how it's basically kind of in a crisis mode even before the pandemic. As a war veteran, how has the virus exacerbated underlying problems with the VA system? Are you still having to deal with the same bullshit with the VA system? Has it gotten better? Has it gotten worse? If it's gotten worse, has it gotten worse because of the virus? Like, what's been going on with it? As you smile and you're like, well, here we go. When it comes to the VA system, what are you seeing the VA? How is the VA handling this?
They are taking extra precautions. For example, the other day I had to go there to take care of some business. And before I went into the building, they checked my temperature, which thank God it was 95 degrees, which is normal. They are checking temperature. They're checking blood pressure. They are providing tests for the coronavirus. The population in the VA now has become less because they don't want to take that chance. So a lot of the appointments have went from face-to-face to teleconference. So it's just, in a nutshell, they have really, shockingly, they have stepped their game up. There is still some deficiencies because, come on, it's the government. I mean, let's just be blunt. But during this coronavirus, I'm pretty impressed. They have really stepped their game up.
That's good. That's good because, as we know, hospitals, especially in the South, aren't the best for any, let alone having to deal with this. I guess, y'all, this is probably for everybody. So religion is obviously a big thing in the South, and you still have with Easter and everything coming up, you still have people wanting to go to church, and you still have, as we've probably seen on like City Watch pages and Facebook, et cetera, and everything going on, that it seems like in every community, regardless of race, that there are people that don't want to believe that this is as bad as it is or what it's going to be, especially people still want to go to church. I just want to see, have y'all seen it? I've seen it personally. People like, I have family members that don't take this seriously, but have y'all seen kind of an uptick in, like, as Tommy, as we mentioned, the whole 5G thing, like a whole uptick in people that just not really want to take this seriously? Denzy, you want to start off?
Well, with the whole going to church thing, you better sit their ass at the house and watch the 700 Club. You know what I'm saying? Joel Osteen on TV all the time. They better quit playing. You know what I'm saying? What the definition of church is what? Where three or more gather in his name to worship?
Yeah.
Call two of your closest home and sit y'all ass in the living room and pray. Just that simple. Just that simple.
Yeah, I agree. What people don't realize is the reason why Jefferson County had a crazy number of cases early on. They linked it all back to a church.
Was it Jefferson or Lee County? I thought it was Lee.
Jefferson County, I think. Yeah, Jefferson County.
Yeah, Jefferson's Birmingham. So that happened there too?
Yeah. They had a huge in the very beginning. They were like way above everybody else's reported numbers. But yeah, they linked it all back to a church. Like just stay home. It's not that serious. Just stay home. And I can tell you from somebody who, as a quote unquote essential worker, I myself don't see people taking it as seriously as I believe they should take it. But you know, it is what it is. You can't expect everybody to hunker down and take it as seriously as the next person. But for the most part, either some people just think they can't get it or they just don't care.
They're blessed in the blood of Jesus.
Blessed in the blood of Jesus. It cures all. Cures all.
I can believe that someone actually came in and fucking said that. I don't know, y'all. What else are y'all seeing? What else are y'all hearing? What else are y'all doing? Because I don't think it's gonna get any better as it is right. I think that they're saying that they're doing this and doing that, but then again, I don't really trust Alabama Department of Public Health for a number of reasons when it comes to recording stuff. They already started that mass grave in New York City. New York City might be getting better, but it seems like it's coming in waves. And I feel like the South is still going to get hit pretty hard because we have people that refuse to stay home. And like Denzy was saying, to stay ass home and pray together or watch the 700 Club. It's still on fucking TV. Like turning to, 104, whatever, the Hallelujah station, just listen to Jesus on there. But people just don't, it's like ignorance towards the virus spans across. It's the great unifier, and it transcends race. It's just it's like no one wants to take it seriously. And as we all know, this virus is going to devastate marginalized communities more because of lack of healthcare, lack of social services, lack of things that everyone should have, but they don't. But it's just another thing I fear is that, as we talked about before on the last episode, you see this arms race. It seems like you have white people getting scared, and so when white people get scared, they want to shoot black people, but black people don't want to get shot, obviously. So black people are buying guns and ammo more, which I don't blame them. So it just seems like the powder keg building is just going to take something to really set it off. And I have a fear that will happen, as we saw during Katrina, as we saw during other times of when society breaks down, it just into lawlessness, like old racial tensions, and still racial tensions today get brought up to the surface, and you have marginalized communities being affected the most because of racists. You have people fantasizing about shooting looters. And we don't know, like, looters is code for black people. Like, obviously, these people, like, the fantasies in their heads of, like, being cowboys, like, pew, 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 protecting their homestead. They're not shooting other white people. They're shooting black people. That's what their fantasy is. And so, like, from y'all's perspective, like, from y'all's perspective when it comes to that, what I was saying, Denzy just popped in again, y'all. What I'm saying is that basically with the rise of tensions comes the arms race, and it comes to basically white people being afraid, and when white people get afraid, they want to shoot black people, and black people now arming themselves, which I don't blame them. So now you see like this, when society breaks down and when people get afraid because of a virus or because of XYZ, like it's bubbling to the surface. And do y'all feel like that tension rising? I'll start with you, Travis. Do you feel like that tension rising, and do you see it potentially boiling over into something extremely bad?
Honestly, yes, I do. Like I was saying earlier, this coronavirus has brought, it's kind of like the Trump administration, which I think is a walking coronavirus, in my opinion. I believe it has increased racism, and I believe that just as the Trump administration has, the coronavirus will continue to increase racism. I was reading an article before we started this podcast from the Boston Globe, and I posted it to my timeline, and it basically was saying that the racism will increase because of lack of health care for marginalized communities / black and brown people. What you're also going to witness is the increase of white privilege being used in the wrong way, which basically will mean that white people will misuse their white privilege, not for the good of the cause, but to increase or to give them reasons to shoot black people on the spot. I don't know what it's like in Montgomery, but the gun stores up here are still open, just as the liquor stores are still open. But there are more gun stores up here that are open than liquor stores. And I see that not just up here, but I see it in Montgomery as well, too.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Just to chime in, just seeing going to Bass Pro Shop and seeing the ammo section almost dry, and then when I went to go check out, you see this guy has like 400 rounds of 45 just like waiting, and it's just like the same like scared looking white people. Like I said, like they want to act like cowboys and protect their homestead and shoot looters and protect their families, but what they're saying is that they want to shoot black people because they're not fantasizing about shooting looters that look like them. They're fantasizing about shooting this horde of like that one. Like, did y'all see that? And Tommy on me. Did y'all see that? That dude in Georgia is this old white guy. He's running for his seat that he lost again, and he had like his AR-15, and he was like roaming around in the fucking field, and he was like, I'm ready to protect my land from the hordes of looters from Atlanta. And I'm just like, there's so many dog whistles in this that it's not even funny to like that is the stereotypical like old white scared Southern male that clings to his guns and his Bibles, and that he just really, really wants to be able to shoot black people because of this like innate internal racism that he's just like, instead of like reaching out and helping people, which like everyone thinks that people will do, it seems like these TV shows and movies that we've watched, these post-apocalyptic things for all our entire lives, it's just going to play out. And Denzy, I'm going to go to you. Like, obviously we've hung out a few times and talked about this shit a lot. I know that you're ready. You don't have that like if anyone comes to fuck with you, I know that you're going to be ready. But like, what are your thoughts on like this whole fantasy that seems like old white people just want to just pretend like it's the Wild West?
Well, they've been wanting to shoot us. This ain't nothing new. Any excuse they get, they're going to buy up all the ammo. You know what I'm saying? the coronavirus this time, they're going to buy up all the ammo. Next thing you know, might be the Bud Light virus. They're going to buy up all the goddamn ammo. You see what I'm saying? Like they find any excuse they can to go buy up all the ammo so they can bust it our ass. You know, like for real. It ain't no secret.
The Bud Light
They live on the Bud Light. And it's one of those things like
the virus is just going to be watered down horse piss.
I know, right? You know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna do them but make you pee. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God. I'm sorry, Denzy. You just had me crying laughing. The Bud Light. I'm sorry, man. Keep going. Keep going.
But it's like, you know, they really came out when Trump got in office. It's like the underlying racists, the ones that was trying to keep the closet racists, that was trying to keep it on the top. He got in office spewing all his racism, and it seemed like it made it cool to be that way. So I bet they bought a lot of guns when he got in office. Then the coronavirus come about. Hey, let's go get more guns and ammo. So it ain't nothing new. They looking for any excuse to stockpile weapons. But what we need to be doing is the same shit. Just that simple. Violence begets violence. You stay in your lane, I stay in mine. Leave me the fuck alone, I'll leave you the fuck alone. I'm not coming to loot your house. You know what I'm saying? Go buy all the ammo and toilet tissue you want. I ain't got shit to do with that. Give me 3 rolls and I'm good for 2 months. You know what I'm saying? And fuck Walmart. Don't need them either. I got a hood store right up the street that sell pick 5s. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, it is what it is. We just got to stay on our P's and Q's. We got to stay ready.
Now, Denzy, when you brought up a good point, staying on your P's and Q's. We've talked about certain organizations, and you were telling me about how people would come together and organize in order to help people pay bills and things like that. Like when it comes to organizing in the Black community, for instance, Fred Hampton, for example, like would organize amongst street gangs and would organize amongst people that you wouldn't expect to want to come together and work together. Do you see like anything like that coming like in the Black community when it comes to like coming together and working to protect the Black community in ways that you haven't seen until there's like a big tragedy? Like, see, like the white community like wants to think that we have racial solidarity with each other, but we really don't. We're very individualistic and self-centered people. But the Black community is very, very community organized and very, very, very much a solid unit, it seems like, in a lot of ways. So like, do you see that happening? Do you see like more so the Black community coming together to know like, hey, shit's about to hit the fan with all these crazy, scared white people with guns? Like, do you see any, I guess, organizing coming together in the Black community?
It really can. The only problem is too many chiefs and not enough Indians. You're gonna need somebody that can actually get the people together. If you got this street beefing with that street, ain't nobody, the chief on that street ain't gonna want to hear shit that the chief on that street talking about, and all them soldiers are gonna still be at each other's throat. You're gonna need somebody that's in a position that's in a neutral position to bring them together. So what the Black community really need is a leader. Somebody that can neutralize all the dumb shit, set your differences aside, and let's take care of each other. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, like, I won't even say it's just a Black thing, because regardless of race, if this person see that person got more than them, then this person gonna see what they can do to get it from that person, whether it's armed robbery, whether it's being a con man, whether it's breaking and entering, whether it's fraud. You see what I'm saying? Somebody always looking to swindle somebody else out of what they got so they can get more instead of getting it together. It's enough out here for everybody. So it can happen. Just need a leader.
I feel you. And then we also have people that, like, I consider myself a quote unquote race traitor. Like, I would much rather fight with you against these Klan fuckers than side with those assholes.
Hey, you know I'm gonna rock with you, brother.
Hell
Shit.
yeah. I stockpiled my ammo, and I stockpiled. It was like, I'm gonna ride with my comrades, and we're gonna fucking
Already, you feel me?
we're gonna find these hooded fuckers, and fucking y'all are gonna string them up from trees. I'll stay back and guard while y'all get to do the work that y'all been waiting to do.
For real.
I honestly think that because gun sales like have skyrocketed in the South like tremendously, but I honestly think white people are just scared, and it's a weird thing, but I feel like a lot of white internal fear is that we'll one day do what they did to us. And I feel like a lot of white people fear that.
Hold on, wait. Are you telling me that white genocide is not going to happen?
I mean,
are y'all telling me
I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I'm not saying that I won't be a part of it, but what I'm saying is I mean, like you said, Denzy. By the way, Denzy, that campaign speech, like you're running for president. I hear it.
Denzy 2024.
Denzy 2020.
Denzy 2020.
I'm writing in Denzy. Fuck Biden. I'll never vote.
Hey, I need a running mate.
Denzy into the fucking world.
But I lost my train of thought. But I'll give it back to you, Nelson.
You touched on a good point. The internal fear. It's like white people are afraid that, and you saw this in South Africa. You saw this, that like if God forbid white people ever gave up the power that the black community would basically kill them all. And you have, I mean, we've all seen it on social media. You have like some aspects of that. You see it, like some people are just get angry and say, we're just going to kill all the white people. But then, like, I guess what it comes down to is that there's that stereotypical, like, afraid, scared, white, old Southern male that is just realizes, like, internally, doesn't want to admit it, but realizes that what their ancestors did was so wrong that there could be never any forgiveness, and that the second that he loses power, he's going to get the same treatment that his ancestors did. And I've heard a number of people in the black community that are like, look, what happened in the past is bullshit. If y'all would just let us be able to fucking live as human beings and stop being assholes to us, that as Denzy said, stay in your lane, stay in mine, we could work this out. Like, we're not looking for revenge. We're just looking to be fucking treated as human beings. That being said, there's obviously going to be a lot of elements in the white community that don't want that to happen. And just like we talked about earlier, those motherfuckers going to get shot.
Yeah, and I remember what I was going to say, but not only do you have that fear going on, but you couple that with the wealth disparity in the South. Our very extremely poor healthcare system in the South, and even the tiniest bit of expanding Medicaid has not even happened in the South. And you couple that with this coronavirus and the stay-at-home order. Most of these jobs that are closing affect Black people more than any other race. Most blue-collar jobs, you can work from home. You can do that. But the people working, everyday jobs, things like that, minimum wage jobs, are going to lose out and have lost out, and it's going to create even more of a wealth disparity, even more of a wage gap, because people have to get caught up in this. $1,200 from the government is not going to help that much. It's not. And so, I mean, we're literally sitting on a powder keg. It's only, unless something happens, it is only going to get tremendously worse, like incredibly worse. And Black people are going to die more from it because as a whole, we do not all have health care. We do not all have health care. No one can afford to go and say, hey, I have the coronavirus. I need a ventilator. We don't have that insurance. Now, I have good insurance, and I don't think I can afford that. Like, this is insane. And it's only going to get worse as time goes on, because this isn't ending April 30th. This will probably go on until next year, until we possibly get a cure.
I think that somebody brought up a good point, and then you brought up a good point there, Tommy, is the majority of the service industry and what they're deeming quote unquote essential workers now are from the Black community. And you're expecting people that come from marginalized groups to work these jobs, to have to be face to face with people during a pandemic and not offering them hazard pay, not offering them health care, and not offering like any forms of protection when it comes to protecting themselves from the virus. And it takes just a little bit to push people over the edge to be like, fuck you, like I'm not coming into work. You see strikes happening at the Amazon plants at different parts of the country. You see people going on strike to say like, hey, we're not going to work unless this stuff is met. But in the South, you don't really have that solidarity and like union drive that other parts of the country have. But I'm seeing that like it's probably gonna, if it gets as bad as they're saying it is in the South, that like on top of you're gonna have another labor struggle, but it's going to repeat itself like it did in the past, where you're gonna have angry white people who are so anti-union, like attacking Black workers trying to unionize because the white people are just so ignorant of what it means to fucking any type of solidarity. And you're going to have problems with that because you're going to have Black workers that are like, I don't want to fucking work for shit, not be protected, and then you're not giving me health care, go fuck yourself. And then it's going to turn into like another fucking racial tension. I don't want to say race war, but like that fucking anger and violence is going to spill over to the point where like something's going to happen. Because I feel like we're always kind of like, I try to, like, I tell people outside the South is like, that look at me and they're like, oh, they still think of the South as like 1950s with the state troopers sicking dogs on marching Black people. And I tell them that like, yeah, we've progressed past that to the point where we're at the New England style liberal racism that y'all are used to, like stay in your placeism. And the only problem is I think that we could backslide very easily to that. And the virus is kind of exacerbating that and showing that like it could definitely happen. Travis, what, do you have any other thoughts? Any other, what we've been saying? Like, what do you see? Like, what are your opinions on what we've just covered?
Just basically, I will agree with both Denzy and Tommy pertaining to the topic. Like I said, I just think it will get worse. I can see it getting worse before it gets better. Bernie tried to tell us in the past, Medicaid for all. But unfortunately, our government laughed at him and called him an old white piece of shit, which, now he's out of the race. And now many people are like, wow, maybe we should have believed in what he was saying. Because maybe if we had Medicaid for all, or should I say Medicare for all, then we possibly could have created a vaccine to minimize the coronavirus effects. However, due to our racist government, and being in the Deep South, I could see that, like I said earlier, marginalized groups will be affected by this. So what we need to do is we need to be our own revolutionaries. We need to have the revolution that leads to solutions that can get rid of the pollution in our government, and that is the ignorance of as well as the hypocrisy of our democracy. We need to vote out every single political leader, started from the city right on up to the national government. People who are leaders, vote them out. Vote those leaders out. I mean, that don't want to support specific groups of people and just only want to be like whites only, because that's the mentality that I see with this coronavirus, and it will get worse before it will get better. The gun stores will continue to be sold out due to white people, or as I like to call it, white fragility, which is, the fear that which is the fear, which is the fear that Black people are going to take over. And like Denzy and Tommy both were saying, it's not that we want to take over. We do want to work together, but we, as woke Black men, we refuse to sit down with systemic oppressors and shake hands with them. That's not going to happen at all, unless they themselves become woke. Because a lot of them, especially white folks, especially old and middle-aged white men, they always claim, oh, I'm not racist or I'm woke, but their actions reveal that they're sleep like Alka-Seltzer. So,
Travis, did you see that thing real quick? You just brought up a good point. It was like, someone's about to go on a racist rant when they say something like, I don't care what color they are. They could be purple for all I care. It's like, purple. Like, it don't matter what color they is. And then, like, that white dude's about to say, like, some weird.
Oh, yeah. Like, I'm not racist, but get the hell out of here.
Dot.
Yeah, exactly. But in a nutshell, I agree with both Tommy and Denzy. Stay on their side, we'll stay on our side. If they want to come and work together, those and white folks, if they want to come together to claim that Black Lives Matter, then that's fine. But don't tell me that Black Lives Matter when your actions reveal that all lives matter. That's a crock of crap. So I just wanted to add my 2 cents on that.
Big. Y'all okay? Well, we I don't know how long we've been going because the video cut out and then came back. But is there anything else that y'all want to touch on? Denzy, I know you. Real quick before we go to final thoughts, how's the music coming? Have you been able to record anything else or think of anything else or write anything? Because you just had an album come out, and I added one of your songs to our playlist. Oh, the meeting will end in 10 minutes. God, fuck Zoom. Okay, we have 10 minutes to go with final thoughts. So real quick, Denzy, do you want to hit us with some knowledge? I'll just go back around the round table, then I'll finish it off with the outro.
Well, yeah, first of all, appreciate the add to the playlist. Thank you, brother. Salute. That mean a lot to me. The only thing I got to say is, hey, y'all stay safe and keep it gangster.
Hell yeah. Travis, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I would just like to say, as far as the church going goes with that, I forgot to add my 2 cents about that. Like I told my cousin the other day in the ATL of Atlanta, I said, me and Jesus got a deal. My Black ass is going to stay home and watch some Benny Hinn or 700 Club and Creflo Dollar, because I'll be damned if I go out. Because I will be damned if I go out. And even though I have a strong immune system from working out a lot, like she was telling me, because she's a medic too, and she just told me even strong immune system folks, they can still get affected by this. So she was like, why take that chance? There's a reason why for a curfew. So I would just like to say that, to be honest with you, save people and not profit, and fuck religion. Because life is too short, smoke a Newport.
100 in a box.
Oh, for yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You good on the gin, Denzy? The gin and Sprite? I saw you had a status of
that was my math test. Everybody else posting these math quizzes here. Post one myself.
if I have to stay curfew for this long, do I have enough gin to get me through?
Yes, I got enough gin in my system where I'm pretty sure ain't shit gonna live in this. No virus, no cold, no flu. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna jump in like a water slide. It's coming right on out. You're like, I got. I piss 80 proof.
This episode is brought to you by gin. ain't no good gin. That's just a plastic bottle.
That's it. Come in a big plastic bottle.
It's just called gin. It's just gin.
It's no beef here. It's fucking. It's just gin. It's well gin. Oh, yeah, because we're both in the service industry, man. We're gonna be out for a while before they open that shit back up again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta do what we gotta do though.
Salute. Tommy, I'm gonna finish it off with you. What do you got?
I don't know why it sounds like a phaser coming through my mic, but no, man, just stay your black ass at home. I'm gonna stay my black ass at home and stay 6 feet away from the people that you do live at home with. So that's about all I can tell you.
If y'all need anything, let me know. I'll use this. I think white skin's the mark of Cain. I'm just gonna straight up say it. We're evil, so I think that white skin's the mark of Cain. Now I'll use the mark of Cain to help y'all get stuff you need.
Yeah, I'm gonna have you make my late night runs, my past curfew runs.
Yeah, you get some ammo.
Yeah. What do you need? We need 45, 48 ACP.
Some gin.
Denzy, I need you to go to the store and get me gin, some Sprite, some 45 hollow points.
Yes.
Call it Black Waiter.
I got Newports.
We starting a new thing, Black Waiter.
Black Waiter. All the drivers white on Black Waiter.
Oh man.
Oh my God.
They only stop at gas stations. You can only get honey buns and Cools and Newports.
And stores with pick fives.
Every order comes with a free mix CD.
Yes.
Oh my God, y'all! This has been great. Thank you all for doing this. I want to have everybody back. Well, obviously Tommy's going to be on the show, but Travis, I want to have you back on definitely. Denzy, I want to have you back on because I don't know. We'll think of something. But y'all check out Denzy real quick. What's the name of the album and where can they find it at?
The Reckoning, and it's on all platforms: Google Play, Apple, Spotify, YouTube. All you gotta do is Google Denzy Cottrell. It'll pull it up.
I'll drop a link in the show notes to at least Spotify, one of those things, so they can find you.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow,
Appreciate that.
No problem. Tomorrow I'll be able to post on Facebook, so I'll be able to share a bunch more stuff. But all right, y'all. So stay safe. Thanks for coming on, y'all. And I'm gonna do the outro real quick. Yeah, that's it. The Reckoning. Tommy found it on iTunes. All right, y'all. So real quick, I'm gonna do the outro, and then y'all we can log off, all that good stuff. But thanks again, y'all, and just know that at Dixieland, the proletariat, we believe the South will rise again, but this time for the right reasons. Those being worker-owned means of production, decolonization, and self-determination for all oppressed peoples. We're coming to you from the heart of Dixie, Montgomery, Alabama. We'd also like to recognize that we are recording on occupied land that rightfully belongs to the Muskogee and its people. Thanks, guys, for coming on. Thanks for listening. Next week, we have another interview with some people I think y'all are going to definitely like. Make sure to check us out on Patreon, get some stuff. Until next time, as Tyler would say, good Lord willing, the creek don't rise. See y'all next time.